Have you ever met someone who seems to carry the weight of the world quietly on their shoulders? Someone who notices every tiny detail, remembers the little things, and somehow keeps everything from falling apart, but rarely talks about it? That's Virgo. And if you think you know Virgo, think again, because they are the most misunderstood sign in the zodiac. People see Virgo and think perfectionist, overly critical, or too analytical. But there's so much more beneath that surface. The truth is, Virgo's attention to detail isn't about being difficult or controlling. It's about a deep, genuine desire to bring order to chaos, to make life smoother for themselves and everyone around them. Virgo doesn't want to control everything. They just feel like they have to. Because when no one else is paying attention, Virgo notices the cracks, the details, the things that could fall apart if they don't quietly step in. They become the safety net, the one who remembers the deadline, catches the typo, sees the red flag before it turns into a disaster. But the weight of that awareness, it's exhausting. And here's where the world gets Virgo wrong again. They call it perfectionism, but that's a surface-level diagnosis. The truth is, it's anxiety, it's responsibility, it's the pressure of being the one who always sees the consequences. Virgo walks into a room and immediately assesses, who's hurting, what's off, how do I fix this without making it worse? They're like emotional architects, constantly designing blueprints for stability in a world that often feels chaotic. And sometimes they break under that invisible pressure, but you'll rarely see it, because Virgo breaks in silence. They collapse inward. Overthinking becomes their coping mechanism. Self-doubt becomes their shadow. They'll replay a conversation 100 times, wondering if they said the wrong thing. They'll over-prepare for moments that never happen. They'll smile through the discomfort because they were raised to be composed. That quiet composure, it's not natural. It's learned, it's armor. And it hides one of the most vulnerable hearts in the zodiac. Because beneath the cool exterior, Virgo wants something achingly simple: to be understood, to be met with the same care they give. Not just appreciated for their usefulness, not just praised for being dependable, but loved for who they are, not what they do. That's the ache they carry. And yet, they keep showing up. That's what sets Virgo apart. They don't need grand gestures. They need consistency. They don't want drama. They want real. Someone who listens to what they don't say. Someone who notices the way they always show up on time. The way they remember the little things. The way they stay calm in storms that would sink other people. Because that's Virgo's magic. They bring peace. And if you're lucky enough to be loved by one, you'll know. They won't shout their love from rooftops, but they'll remember your favorite mug. They'll hold your hand in silence when you can't find the words. They'll show you over and over that love isn't a performance, it's presence. And when you realize that, you'll never see them as cold again. You'll see them as rare. And in a loud world that often rewards flash over substance, Virgo stands as a quiet revolution, a reminder that grace, depth, and loyalty still exist. Here's something else that often trips people up about Virgo: their incredible self-criticism. They are their own toughest judge. Ever met someone who never seems satisfied with their own work, no matter how amazing it is? That's Virgo, but it's not because they lack confidence. It's because they hold themselves to impossibly high standards, standards that sometimes no one else even notices. This isn't about vanity or ego. It's about a deep, restless desire to improve themselves, the people around them, the world. They want to be better, to do better, to fix what's broken, starting with themselves. But that inner voice can get harsh. So harsh, in fact, that Virgo can be their own worst enemy. They replay their mistakes over and over, long after everyone else has moved on. That's why it's hard for Virgo to accept compliments, because inside, they're thinking about all the things they could have done differently. And here's the kicker: that endless striving for perfection can sometimes lead to paralysis. The fear of making a mistake stops them from taking risks. They get stuck in overthinking, caught in a cycle of what ifs. And this is where the misunderstood Virgo really struggles, because the world around them often rewards bold moves, quick decisions, and loud confidence. And Virgo, they process deeply, quietly, carefully. They need time, they need space, they need patience. So if you know a Virgo, or if you are one, remember this. Their silence isn't indifference. Their caution isn't weakness. Their self-criticism isn't failure. It's the engine that drives their growth, the fuel behind their fierce loyalty and unwavering dedication. Virgos are quietly heroic. They don't seek the spotlight. They don't crave applause. But their impact, it's undeniable. They build, they heal, they nurture, often behind the scenes. And when the noise fades, their true power shines brightest. Because Virgo's strength is subtle but unshakable. It's steady as a heartbeat, reliable as the sunrise, and deeply, beautifully human. The real misunderstanding about Virgo starts with how people perceive their nature. Most think Virgos are just critical, overly analytical, or nitpicky, but that's only the surface. What they don't see is the why behind all of it. Virgo's attention to detail isn't about being difficult. It's about a genuine desire to bring order to chaos, to make life smoother for everyone around them. When Virgo points out a flaw or offers advice, it's not to criticize, it's to help. But here's the catch. Not everyone receives it that way. Many feel judged or controlled, and Virgo's well-intentioned care becomes misunderstood as fault-finding or coldness. This disconnect creates a lot of frustration for Virgo, because all they want is to be useful, to be valued for their precision and thoughtfulness. In the world, it often rewards loudness and charisma over quiet competence. So Virgo's subtle, methodical way of expressing love or care flies under the radar. They're overlooked or dismissed as boring or overly cautious. But that's far from the truth. Virgo's strength lies in their unwavering reliability, their practical wisdom, and their loyalty that runs deep. They don't seek drama or attention. They seek meaning. They are the silent fixers, the steady hands when everything else is falling apart. The tragedy of Virgo's misunderstood nature is that people don't always realize how much energy it takes for them to keep giving, keep caring, keep perfecting. Because behind that calm, organized exterior is someone who feels intensely, who worries, who doubts, who wants connection just as much as anyone else. So when Virgo pulls back, it's not because they don't care. It's because they've learned the hard way that not everyone can meet their level of sincerity or depth. And maybe that's why Virgos are so often alone in their experience. Misunderstood not because they are complicated, but because they are profoundly simple in their desire to be understood and appreciated exactly as they are. So what's the untold truth about Virgo? It's that they are so much more than the surface labels people slap on them. They're not just perfectionists, critics, or control freaks. They're deeply caring souls, quietly carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They are the invisible backbone, the unseen support, the quiet architects of stability in a chaotic world. And because their way of loving and living is subtle, thoughtful, and sometimes hidden, they often get misunderstood. But when you take the time to look closer, to listen beneath the surface, you find someone who is fiercely loyal, endlessly giving, and profoundly sincere. A Virgo's love isn't flashy or loud. It's steady, reliable, and enduring. They don't need to be understood by everyone, just by those who matter most. So if you know a Virgo, or if you are one, remember this. Your quiet strength is rare. Your thoughtful care is a gift. And your presence, even when unseen or underappreciated, makes the world better. The truth is, Virgo is the most misunderstood sign because they choose to be quietly strong rather than loudly noticed. And maybe, just maybe, that's their greatest power.